right, Shalom. First and foremost, we want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, Bahashem, Rechak, Wadash. Double honors and salutations to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Much respect to you brothers out on the highways and byways pushing this truth with fear and sincerity. And Shalom to the hopeful elect. It's your brother Chalakar coming back at you with another video. And this video right here, which it says 144 at the bottom for the retweets or whatever. So call Lord Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shah Bashem Kakadash Barakatah Yahweh Barakatah Yahweh Shah. This is leprosy, point blank and period. There's a lot of speculation in Israel, that the Edomites, are not so-called white people. Jake, amongst these other groups and whatnot, primarily these young Israelites think that Esau, when he came out all red over like a hairy garment, meaning he was just ready, right? And he still has his dark skin complexion today, which that's going off, right? We know that red is talking about, he was wasted away, Ashwashwa, Esau, Edom, right, out of Wam. His blood showed through his skin, meaning he had no pigmentation, right? And in this video, you had this so-called black man, African-American, reveal shocking story of how he woke up white. And as you can see, he still have a little bit of pigmentation, a little melanin in the skin, where his forehead is, the top of his eyebrow. But you can see his darker complexion, his darker hue, right, is being wasted away. And the same thing as Esau, right? When Esau came out of the womb, he was like this, but his, as a child, when a child first comes out of the womb, they're covered, and you can see their blood through their skin somewhat, right? You can see the tint, especially Esau. When he comes out, he come out all red and flushed because he just came out of the womb. But you can see a little bit of blood showing through the skin of a newborn child, especially Esau, right? I guarantee if this man got really mad or if he got hot, like you could see the blood coming through his skin, right? You can see it all over him, same as Esau. But nevertheless, I'm going to let this video play a little bit, and we're going to get a couple of scriptures dealing with leprosy and whatnot, and that'll be the lesson. Further, a lot of, the true understanders, the true believers, they understand that what this is, but it's new people coming in every day, and, understanding must be afforded for the hopeful elect of the nation of Israel, so they won't be, bamboozled, right, by these different philosophies, these different doctrines that's out here in the world today, right? So, without further ado, let's hear it.
With the conditions, like I didn't know. I just felt something was off and something was wrong. And then with this, it just started growing and growing and growing.
Can you walk us through what happened to your skin?
Yeah, I just noticed here.
Like, from the very beginning, one day you woke up and you just had white.
Yeah, I just noticed this here, and then I just, it just started like to spread. And
discoloring of your skin.
Yeah, and I never had it before.
And you went to a doctor for it?
Yeah, I first went to a dermatologist, they're going to figure this out. And they just said, maybe it's vitiligo. And I went to, other one.
And that's what they call it today, vitiligo, right? When you, as a dark-skinned person, start to lose your pigmentation, they call it vitiligo. You get the spots everywhere and whatnot, but we know in the scriptures as leprosy, right? Let's deal with Moses. right? Moses, the Lord is Exodus 4, the Lord is showing Moses miracles, right? And so one of the first ones he showed Moses was he turned his hand leprous. This is Exodus 4 and 6. It says, and the Lord Yahweh said furthermore unto him, put now thy hand into thy bosom. His bosom is talking about his cloak, his robe, or his what he was wearing. And he put his hand into his bosom, and when he took it out, behold, his hand was leprous as snow. Now we know what snow looked like. It looks white, right? And when you go into that word leprous, it is the Hebrew word for leprous is tazar, tazara, right? Tazarai, tazara. And that word tazara, or tazar, I, to be disease of skin, be leprous, to be leopard, to be a leopard, leprosy. Let's look at that word leprosy real quick. Leprosy, noun, it says a contagious disease that affects the skin, mucous membranes, and nerves, causing discoloration and lumps in the skin, and in severe cases, disfigurement and deformities. Leprosy is now mainly confined to tropical Africa and Asia. So, which the children of Israel, right, came from the continent of Asia, right? Being in the so-called Middle East that is connected to the continent Asia. We're not Moabites or anything like that, but we was born in the Levant, right? Started in the Levant, as I should say it. But to be a leprous, to be leopard, is a disease of the skin. And this individual, is talking about his leprosy.
Gave me EKGs and everything, and really didn't get much. And then finally went to my fourth doctor, and they did the echocardiogram, and I recommend that for everybody. Echocardiogram. Left ventricle was at 27, and one time I collapsed, and I was in the hospital for 5 days.
See, he's sick. He's diseased. Going back to reading this again, Exodus 4 and 6, and the Lord Yahweh said furthermore unto him, now put thy hand into thy bosom, and he put into thy bosom, and he put his hand into his bosom, and when he took it out, behold, his hand was leprous as snow. And he said, put thy hand into thy bosom again. And he put his hand into his bosom again, and plucked it out of his bosom. And behold, it was turned again as his other flesh, which was a dark-skinned hue, a dark-skinned man, what they call black today, right? Verse 8 says, and it shall come to pass, if they will not believe thee, neither hearken to the voice of the first sign, that they will believe the voice of the latter sign. And these signs, right, just like, what's that, Cain? You go to Genesis 4, and I'm going to go to, if you don't know the story of Cain and Abel, right? Cain killed Abel. After Cain was jealous of his brother because he did what the Lord said, so he killed his brother, and the blood of Abel raised up into Yahweh, right? And asked Cain, why did he do that? This is Genesis 4 and 13. It says, and Cain said unto the Lord, Yahweh, my punishment is greater than I can bear. Behold, thou hast driven me out this day from the face of the earth, and from thy face shall I be hid. and I shall be a fugitive and a vagabond in the earth, and it shall come to pass that everyone that findeth me may slay me, shall slay me. So he was a fugitive and a vagabond. A fugitive, that word for fugitive, because a vagabond is somebody that goes place to place, don't really have, nowhere to stay, right? That word for fugitive is gawa'a. So gawa'a, yeah, gawa'a. To quiver, to totter, to shake, to reel, stagger, wander, move, shift, make move, wave, waver, tremble, right? Vagabond, to cause to wander, shake, disturb, to shake. Let me see something real quick. Shake, tremble or vibrate, move, up and down from side to side with rapid forceful, jerky movements. Yeah, and when you think of Esau, going throughout the earth, going from place to place, taking down people, taking down different situations, different kingdoms, right? And then setting himself up, right? Going into that word vagabond, look up a person who wanders from place to place without a home or job. And that's Esau, taking over the Canaanites, you know, all the way down today, taking over us, the Lord's people, saying that he's these people, taking down Japhites, you name it. Esau has moved throughout the earth doing these things, right? With the help of the Heavenly Father on the left-hand side, right? Spiritual demon Satan. Esau has fit that picture. And Esau will be ending, or he will be on top in the end days, right? Because this is his kingdom, which they use Babylon the Great, America, to do the bidding, right? To push this bidding. But we know that's all coming to an end. Going back to Genesis 4:15, and the Lord Yahweh said unto him, therefore, whosoever slayeth Cain, vengeance shall be taken on him sevenfold. And the Lord set a mark upon Cain, lest any find him should kill him. They set a mark. Going into that word mark, because this was the mark of leprosy. The word there is awakha, or awakha, or kha, a sign, a signal, a distinct squeak. I can't even say the word. Hold on. Distant squeamish, distance guising, Salakia. Mark, it says characteristics of one thing or person, so serving to identify it. Distinctive. It says a banner. Oh, lift up a banner, right? I think that's in Isaiah. Lift up a banner against this, against Esau, right? Remembrance, miraculous sign. When you do it miraculously, that's like a super, yeah, here we go, occurring through divine or supernatural interventions or manifesting such power. Supernatural, amazing, right? Is if the Lord put a sign on Cain, here it is. Everybody was born from the ground of Adamites, right? So that there was different shades of brown. And then here it is. Cain has a mark, a miraculous sign upon him, a omen, right? A warning, a token, an ensign, a standard, a miracle, a proof. What was that? That was the sign of leprosy. Took his pigment away. So when people see him, they're just like, what the hell is that? Consent, agree. That's the root of the word. So Cain got a mark set up on him, and he went out of the presence of the Lord. This is basically, evils, the wicked being ushered in the earth, right? Then coming back after the flood, coming back under Jacob and Esau, which Esau held that that wicked side, right?
Yeah.
And what did they say it was?
Yeah, they were saying it was more of the heart failure, but if they had caught it sooner, it would have been better. But that's what was going on. My heart was feeling, and that's why I have all this.
Discoloring of the skin. And did they say why you were having heart failure? What it was, was it because of the job?
Yeah, stress.
Okay. The
And
stress.
then I was still under, the litigation, and there's no answer for anything. Just everything was just pending.
And you were unable to take disability because your paperwork was just pending. They
Yeah.
cut down your hours, maybe gave you desk duty.
Yeah, they wouldn't give me the work disability, which that thing was all, drawn out, and they delayed all of that. They fought me on that.
So you have all of these you have a medical condition going on. You're seeing doctors. No one's doing anything at work to help you, to help aid you. Mentally, where are you at?
Yeah, mentally, I'm just keep going on to the next project and the next thing, and just not realizing, mentally, very strong, but like I think I was mentally stronger than like the physical was failing, but mentally I just doing litigation and
Yeah, you get it. We get one more scripture, then I'm gonna close it out. Numbers 12. Now this account in Numbers 12 is dealing with Miriam and Aaron and Moses. There was bickering from Miriam and Aaron against Moses because Moses married a Ethiopian woman, right? He had an Ethiopian woman. And the Lord heard that bickering. It just said in Exodus 4 and 8, said if they won't believe these signs, right? The Lord gonna, bring hell pretty much. They're gonna deal with them. This is Numbers 12 and verse 9. It says, "In the anger of the Lord, Yahweh was kindled against him, and he departed." Right, going into they speaking against Moses because he married an Ethiopian woman. And the cloud departed from off the tabernacle, and behold, Miriam became leprous, white as snow. There go that word leprous again. Let's look that up again. Leprous, right? Tazarah, Tazarah, to be diseased of the skin. She was a leopard. Her pigment was taken away. More like looking at this guy. His pigment is taken away. So here everybody's dark skin and the pigment get taken away. Everybody's wondering like what the hell is going on, right? It says, "And Aaron said unto Moses, At last, my Lord, I beseech thee, lay not the sin upon us, wherein we have done foolishly, and wherein we have sinned." Because Moses already knew what this was, right? Moses already understood because it happened to him, right? Or it was just a miracle shown to him. It says, let her not be as one dead, whom the flesh is half consumed when he cometh out of his mother's womb. And going into, Jacob and Esau, right? Esau came out of Rebekah's womb wasted away. That's why it says this in Numbers 12 and 12. Let her not be as one dead, of whom the flesh is half consumed when he cometh out his mother's womb. Talking about Esau. All right, when Esau came out, he was red all over like a hairy garment. So he is wasted away. Ashwashwa. Right? He is wasted away. That's why Isaac was like, oh, Ashwashwa, he's wasted away. He's about dead. He don't got no pigment. What's wrong with him? Verse 13, and Moses cried unto the Lord, saying, Moses cried unto Yahweh, saying, heal her now, O power, I beseech thee. And the Lord Yahweh said unto Moses, if her father had but spit in her face, should she not be ashamed 7 days? Let her be shut up. Let her be shut out from the camp 7 days, and after that, let her receive in again. So basically, she had to sit out the camp for 7 days, and then she got her pigmentation back. All right, so like I said, it's just touching on the subject of leprosy and what it is, and you can still see it to this day. All right, you can still see it to this day because the Lord put signs. And as a matter of fact, let me get one more. Deuteronomy 28, I think 45, 46, 45. Because like those, Miriam was cursed, or she wasn't cursed, but she sinned and, talked against Moses, and the Lord took her flesh away. There's more, just like these curses. There's a sign of wonder. It says, Deuteronomy 28:45, it says, more of all these curses shall come upon thee, and shall pursue thee, and take over thee, till thou be destroyed, because thou hearkenest not unto the voice of the Lord Yahweh thy power, to keep his commandments and his statutes which he commanded thee. And they shall be upon thee for a sign and for a wonder, and upon thy seed forever. And even tracing this back to Cain, right? That should be for a sign and a wonder, right? Because remember that mark goes back to the same word, I believe, for a sign. Yep. It goes back to the awaka, a sign and a signal. Just like us today, we have these curses upon us, and we can tell who the children of Israel are today because of the signs, the curses, the wonders, the tokens, the banners, distinguishing mark, right? So, same thing with this individual, right? He's still, we're still getting hit with this type of stuff today, right? So, with that said, I hope you got something out of this. Hope you found something in this. I hope to see you on the next video. Lord willing, shalom.